Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Path of Me. I'm your host, Wendy Hutchinson, and my guest today is a friend, a client, and also an incredible business owner. She owns Bare Beauty Spa Chic down in the Galleria area of Houston, Texas, and she's got quite a story to tell about her evolution as an esthetician, a healer, and she's been on her own spiritual journey, which I can't wait to deep dive into. So welcome, Lindsey. Lindsey Nguyen. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on today. So what led you to go into the esthetician field? What guided you there?
It was, in the beginning, was a hobby. It was not by choice. Just life kind of led me there. I mean, if I was to really go by trade, what I wanted to do in the beginning would have been engineering.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know you grew up in a small town. Where are you from?
Beaumont, Texas.
Oh, you're from Beaumont. Not too far from Houston then. Fantastic. How long have you been in the Houston area?
I've been in Houston since 2006.
Okay. I'm really curious how your journey has unfolded. I want to kind of go back. You seem to be very intuitive and have a really strong kind of GPS or guidance system helping you navigate life. So I just kind of wanted to go back and find out, has that always been the case, or has that been something that has been recent in your life?
I mean, when I was younger, and it has always been the case, I would just get these inklings and these feelings, and I would just follow it. And it was the weirdest thing because I knew I was different. I never felt like I fit in anywhere. And growing up,
I know a lot of us can relate to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, growing up in a small town, everyone had to be in a certain mode, and I didn't fit in any of those. And I thought I was weird. I thought I was different. I didn't think I was normal like everyone else. But I knew growing up in Beaumont, because Beaumont was so small, that it was not for me. And
right.
There was just a yearning to go out there because I knew there was more. And yes, my life was very, compared to others, very unconventional. I basically just followed my heart everywhere I went.
That's the best thing, because you're never led astray if you always listen to your heart instead of your mind.
I mean, in the beginning, following my heart, I thought, dude, I made a lot of mistakes, but now looking back at all of my mistakes, they were all lessons that now transform me into who I am today.
Of course. That's the whole point of the perceived mistakes, right? Is kind of guiding us and teaching us things about ourselves as we go. So did you go to esthetician school in Houston, or?
No, I actually started off in Georgia, and then I moved to Boston and finished off there. And then I moved back to Beaumont, where I got the licensing here in Texas. So.
Okay, great. And what led you to decide to open the spa?
I'm sorry?
What got you to open the spa? What was the inspiration behind that?
I've worked for so many places and for people, and I realized at the end of the day, they didn't have other people's best interests at heart. And with me and my clients, it's a personal relationship. It's very intimate. And I felt like I couldn't provide the best for my clients.
You were limited a little bit.
Very much so. Mm-hmm. Very much so on what I could do. Yeah.
I love on your website, you said, I'm going to quote you, "It was like I was at the edge of a jungle with a machete and a dream." Explain that to me. Where were you when you wrote that?
Oh,
I mean, where were you emotionally and physically? And where were you in your life where you were on the edge?
because I was trying to find something to compare, like a other salon, so that I can build my vision. But there wasn't anything that I can relate to.
There was no template.
There was no template whatsoever. So yes, it was basically me at the edge of the jungle with a machete, just chopping down the trees and laying down the foundation and trying to figure out where I should put up the walls, where I should put up the rooms. There was nothing that for me to follow on at all. So this whole spa was built by purely intuition.
Wow, that's really incredible. What's your spa philosophy? What's your core? What are your core values there, and what are you trying to bring to the people that come to see you? It's far more than a spa experience. It feels like your aim is to really help people with their inner healing as well.
Just finding self-love, unconditional love for themselves. So that's my core. I mean, we're always trying to fix on the outside, but no matter how much we look on the outside, if the inside is not well or not 100%, it doesn't matter what we look on here, because it shows. It really shows. All of it. People can see it. People can feel it.
Does. Energetically, it shows. That's for sure. Because your vibration is speaking more than your external appearance, especially to people like us who are super sensitive and who can actually tune in and read that.
Right.
You know? So that's fantastic. So your goal is really to help clients. I don't know, I feel like you're really a healer, and we found each other. You found me through a video collaboration that I did with someone on YouTube on the Human Ascension.
That was interesting. I found you like at 2:00 in the morning.
Random but not random, right? That was a video on Marconics and the shift on YouTube, and I guess that's how we connected. So you reached out to me, and that was fantastic that we were able to meet. But our conversation we had was so interesting to me. I wanted to have you on the show because you were talking about how things are starting to really manifest for you quickly. Like you get an idea and then a person shows up, or an opportunity shows up, or an idea shows up. And so I wanted to speak to you a little bit about that process, how that came to be, what's changed for you since you had a Marconics recalibration. It feels like there's been a huge acceleration for you in your business and your ideas and things aligning. So I just kind of wanted to speak to that a little bit and how that's been for you.
It's been amazing, actually. I mean, in the beginning it was hard because everything was just coming, and I had to face a lot of the truth and realize it's okay. Things that need to be let go, I let go. I was not holding on to it anymore. There was no more self-doubt, and just finally realizing that being in the moment, and the truth would just shine. And anything that I start thinking about, I would just, let's say, what was it that I was thinking? I was thinking about alkaline water and what I can do to incorporate it into the business. And I said, if it's a good purpose and it was aligned with my destiny, then please show me the way. And at Costco here, I was trying to buy Vitamix, and I meet the woman's a distributor for alkaline water. So, but little things like that. Every time I think of something and it's of purpose, and if it's for me, someone will come and open the door for me. Pretty much.
You know what was so interesting that you were talking about is how she came out and she did all this testing on the water. So I want you to share that story.
Oh gosh. So I'm a big believer on affirmation and programming water. I read with Dr. Emoto about how water has memory
and consciousness.
And consciousness. So it was all theory for me. So when she came by the spa, she tested the water that she distributed and the water we had here and the city water, so that we can see the alkaline and acidic pH of it. And we did that. So we did her water, the water that I had here, which is Nestle. So her water is at a 9.5, so it's a very dark, pretty blue violet color. The Nestle water is like a light blue, so it's still on the alkaline side. And then the city water was a very yellow orange color, which means very acidic. Well, I bought all my girls here a copper vessel, and they say for you to put the your water in there. It doesn't matter what kind of water, and it's supposed to alkalize it. And I had a bottle. One of the girls, we tested the water that was inside that bottle, and it came out very alkaline. It was like a shade lighter than the alkaline water she was selling. Well, all the bottles, though, however, I've engraved them myself personally and basically infused my own energy and my own love in each of those bottles. But again, those are all theory. So I was like, okay, maybe the copper alkalized the water. But one of my girls, she was new, and we couldn't find the design for her like everyone else. And when I finally did, it was way more expensive than what I paid for before. So I told her, I was like, honey, I love you, but I'm not about to pay that amount of money for that bottle right now.
Right.
She's like, no, it doesn't matter. Just I want you to go ahead and just personalize one of the glass bottles that I have, empty glass bottles I have in the back where from me juicing. And I said, you sure? She's like, yeah, I just want something. I like how you personalize everything. So I did one for her too, with her name. And on the other side, I put I am, so that she can always infuse.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I infused it with love. Well, hers was filled with just filtered water from the fridge. And we had that one tested, and it came out alkaline too as well. Very alkaline.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was very close to the one that we had in the copper vessel. And it blew me away, and it blew the other person away, the distributor away, because we were just like, wait, is this alkaline for real alkaline? And it was just filtered water.
So that really just proves that energetically you can infuse water or yourselves, because our bodies are made up a huge composition of water,
right,
which is consciousness, right? So that just goes to prove that we can infuse ourselves with love. We can infuse our water with love and energy, and that can actually change. This scientifically proved you can actually change the makeup of it.
Right.
So cool. I thought that was so amazing. So I just wanted to share that story.
I'm still amazed by it, even though I know I've read up on it, researched on it, know the theory of it, but just to have it tested and proven, and I was like, wow.
I'm sure your distributor was blown away too. She's probably never experienced something like that either.
No, this is like her first encounter with energy and affirmation and things like that. So it was her first encounter with that. And for her, she said it has changed her life and the way that she's looking, her perspective, basically.
That's really amazing. That is so good. So I know that you're really about finding balance in your work-home life. You have a couple of children. You're running the spa. How are you managing all of those moving parts in your life?
In the beginning, I was micromanaging everything. I was trying to give everyone a piece of me. And then I realized, as long as I just prioritize what is important and take care of that first, everything else will fall in place. Everything will fall in place. And if you, deep down, they all know that I love them. And if I give them 100% unconditional love, they can feel it. And even though I'm not there, they know that I am still there. Mm-hmm. So now, in the beginning, I had the guilt. In the beginning, I had the doubt and said, oh my gosh, I'm not home. I'm not a good wife. I'm not a good mom. I just don't have all the time in the day. And then I realized after I did the narcotics, I was like, I let go. I just basically let whatever flow.
You really surrendered, and man, it's been awesome to watch and experience with you. I think the hardest part about it, narcotics is a tool. It's a tool to help people with their ascension. And one of the core things about it is that it helps you to release the things that aren't in alignment. Because as we go through our lives, so many people are just holding on to things that don't resonate. We hold on to friends who are old friends that don't resonate. We've changed. We have different values, but we feel like, God, we've been friends for 20 years. We have to be friends forever. You know, people come into our lives and there's a flow to it. People present at the right time for the right reason. And we need to also let go of people who aren't resonating anymore to make room for more people who are in alignment with who we are, right? But that shedding process, not only of relationships and, I mean, just other things, it could be shedding of an emotional feeling that's not serving us, or a mindset, or the mental story we're telling ourselves, right? That shedding process is huge. What was that like?
I definitely know I had a lot of programs that was just holding me back, and I needed something that just would flip the switch to turn me so I can realize, like, you don't need to hold on to those programs. You don't need to be like that. You can change yourself. In the beginning, it was just an emotional roller coaster, because I was just going up and down, because I was purging. There was
it's so hard, that process. So hard.
But I knew that I had to just pull up my britches and hold on to those reins and go, okay, I'm on for a ride here.
I'm gonna make it.
Right. And there were days where I was just battling with my ego, where I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. Yes, you have to, Lindsey. No, I don't want to do it. Yes, you have to.
I know the thing about shedding all that is the ego. It's the releasing of the ego. The ego has such a tight grip on us, and it holds us back. You know, it's all those programs and stories and fear and doubt and shame and whatever it is, right? It doesn't serve us. And as that shedding process happens, you know, when you get recalibrated, you start to really let go and things are coming up. The reason it's so tough is so you let go of one thing and then, oh my God, now the next issue is coming up, or the next person's that being triggered in my life for release, or whatever is happening. It can be such a roller coaster. It's tough.
Gosh, during this process, I finally basically embraced the ego. I embraced it instead of trying to push it away and let it go. I just embraced it and made amends with it.
Oh my God, that's huge. That's huge. How did you do that? How did you come to that? Was that just like a download? Like, this is how I need to deal with this? Or?
Well, I just realized, I mean, as a child, when my parents would tell me, do this, do that, I would naturally go, no, I don't want to do it. So I would do something else. I would do the reverse. So I finally got to the point where I'm like, the ego is like your inner child. So it's like, I realized, okay, I'm not going to force it to do anything that it doesn't want to do. So I ended up just embracing it and just making amends with it and realizing it's okay. It's like a child, you got to nurture it. You got to let it just feel the emotions. You have to feel your emotions. We're a human being. We still have to feel the emotion. It's okay. And you feel it, you see it for what it is, and then you go on. Instead of holding on.
So amazing, because do you know how few people actually get that message? You have to feel it, because people want to avoid it. So they're like stuffing it or numbing it or burying it or pushing it away. Like, nobody's like, okay, fine, bring it. Just okay. You just surrender to the emotions of whatever's coming up, right?
Right.
You did such a great job. I'm so proud of you. You did a great job navigating it, and you did it pretty quickly too.
I needed it.
It was like a fast track, accelerated purge, which must have been really hard, trying to run a business, be a mom, be a wife, and go through all those emotions at the same time. It must have been so challenging for you.
Oh no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it is very challenging. It was very hard, but I needed something where I had to embrace everything, or else I would have lost my sanity. Yeah. I would have lost my sanity if I continued my everyday life and not being in the moment. if I was so worried about the future, if I was so worried about stepping on toes, if I was so worried about other people's feelings, I would have never been able to navigate myself to where I am now. And now I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm just ready to see what's next.
I know, and you're creating so many cool things. I mean, you have so many incredible ideas for your spa. Again, the name of her spa is Bear Beauty Spa Tea. She's in the Galleria area, the shopping area of Houston, Texas. And tell us a little bit about what your philosophy is, though. When somebody comes in the door, what are you hoping to achieve with them on a personal level? I know you're great at relationship building, but you have a mission to empower people, I feel like, to help people with healing in a way. It's not just a cosmetic or aesthetics experience, right?
No, I mean, I never thought of myself as a healer. I just, whenever someone comes in, I give them 100% of my attention. When they come in, they're my world at that time. So whatever it is they need, that's what I'm giving to them. So just servicing people with intention. And from that helps them see that there's more to themselves. And sometimes people forget, and you just have to kind of wake them up. Say, hey, it's okay. And then also, at the same time, it was like me in the beginning where I didn't know that there were certain things that people go through that was normal. I thought I was the only one going through things. And then I'm now meeting women and men who are going through the same process that I went through years ago. And
tell me a little more about that. What do you mean?
Like wanting to be the perfect person.
The
image that we want to portray to everyone else. The perfect mom, the perfect sister, the perfect wife, the perfect friend. Mm-hmm. And I finally realized we are all perfect in our own way. Yes. We can't define perfect. And me just showing people that they are perfect in their own way. They don't have to be perfect for anyone else, because we're never going to be able to live up to perfect in someone else's eyes.
So powerful. Yeah, perfection is a moving target.
Yeah.
So it's really rough when you're in that paradigm. I was raised in an Asian culture.
I can relate.
That's rough. I'm not gonna lie. I was raised Catholic and Asian, and that was just like, man, you have guilt and perfectionism all bundled in a neat little package. And it was so tough, because what's reinforced is that you're not good enough. When you're in that mindset, you're reinforcing that message that you're not good enough because you didn't hit this target, you didn't get the highest marks, you weren't valedictorian, you weren't, killing it in the corporate world, whatever it is, whatever that standard is, culturally.
That was how it was with me growing up. I mean, I come home with a 99 on my grades, my tests, and my dad would ask, why not 100?
Exactly. Oh my God. Exactly. Right.
Why not 100? And
right.
Same thing. I born and raised Catholic. My mom was a devout Catholic person, so it was like church every Sunday. You're supposed to uphold certain morals. You're not supposed to do certain things. So I had to be the perfect daughter. Right. And not only that, I was the oldest of 6.
Oh my gosh! Wow. You had to be the example. They wanted you to be the example.
Yeah, everything I did, I had to set an example for my brothers and sisters. So it was a lot for a little child.
A lot of pressure. How did you break the paradigm? How did you break out of that and find your own voice and, become the person that you needed to be? Because I can tell you from my own experience, the hardest thing for me was to claim my power and my voice and my truth and say, this does not work for me. This perfection, this soul achievement, this whole, church thing doesn't work for me. That was so hard for me because I was such a pleaser. I want to please everybody.
I went on a journey of just searching. I started doing research on every single religion you can imagine. I wanted to understand why my mom was such a believer in the Catholic religion. So I started doing research on Buddhism, Taoism, Hinduism, Catholicism, Methodism. I mean, whatever it is, Christianity. I read every single Bible.
What? Oh my gosh, Lindsey. Wow.
Because no one's going to give you the answer that you want until you actually do the research yourself. And then you're going to find the answer. So for me, it was just doing the research that I needed to give the answer that I wanted. Because everyone's going to give you their answer, their perspective. Right. So that's what I ended up doing. I even went to knock on the door at the priest's home and said, hey, look, I need to sit down and talk with you. So I had like a 2-hour conversation with the priest at the time, and I think I was like 14.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Gosh, wow, that's impressive. But you must have really learned so much and gotten a little nugget and a little bit of information from every single religion you study. There's twists and truths in all of them. Some of them have very common themes, you know.
Oh, common themes, common stories, just different characters.
Right.
And then I realized, I was like, all of these were presented for that culture so that they can understand, but it's all the same story.
Right.
And the moral of it at the end of the day is to love one another and to love unconditionally yourself first so that you can love others.
Yes, that's so huge. That is the critical piece. And that unconditional love for ourselves is so, why is it so elusive for us? I think it's because the programming's so deep. Mm-hmm. It's in our DNA, it's in our ancestry, it's in our history, it's in our culture, it's in our society. It's so pervasive that it's so hard for us to actually embrace and own our own beauty and light and love ourselves, forgive ourselves, be true to ourselves, honor ourselves, right? And embrace our gifts and our truth and our power, because that was kind of frowned upon. Like you didn't, I don't know, in my home, I don't know if it was the same in yours, you didn't want to brag about yourself. You didn't want to shine. My parents wanted me to shine on the outside. So like you look a certain way, you behave a certain way, you achieve certain things, and those are the markers for success. But there was really no compass or guidance on how to shine on the inside. I had to find that myself, and boy, that was really hard, you know?
It is hard because every single one of us has been programmed, and we are led by the ego.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, the ego manifests itself, and we let it take over. So that's why, and basically our parents, our ancestors, whoever it is, it was their ego passing on different traits, different rules, different whatever it is that they wanted us to learn. And the ego is one heck of a powerful thing.
It sure is. To break free of it is so huge, although it always has a place, but to subdue it. And I honor you on your journey because you had something that not many people have, that people have to learn, but you had it innately, and that was a real truth that you followed in following your heart. And that's difficult because so many times when you follow your heart, you have to go against what other people expect or want.
So I followed my heart when I was younger. I left home at a very young age, but yet because I was still stuck in that program, I was doing my own thing, but I was still trying to stay perfect. And then I was in the dark forever. There were days where I would cry to myself and no one even knew that I was just lonely and sad and depressed. Mm-hmm. But in the face of everyone else, they're like, oh, you're perfect. You have the perfect life. You have the perfect kids. And like, perfect to you. But it wasn't perfect to me because I was empty. I was very, very hollow.
Yeah. How did you start to fill your bank? How did you start to come back? Because I think sometimes we have to get taken to the edge in order to come back and save ourselves, you know? How did you start to have the realization, okay, this isn't working for me and I need something else? Where did that come from, and what did that look like for you?
Well, trying to achieve that perfect image, I disconnected myself emotionally and physically. So I was pushing my body to the limit. And I remember one day I was working on a client and I couldn't breathe. Out of nowhere, I was having a normal conversation with my client and I couldn't breathe. And I remember apologizing to her saying, I am so sorry. I don't know what's going on. I can't breathe. And she looked at me like, why are you apologizing to me? She said to me, she's like, Lindsey, why are you apologizing to me for your pain? And thankfully, she was I think she was a psychologist.
What? How perfect. You had her in your chair at that moment. Wow.
So she can see the signs and the symptoms, and she just kind of coached me through it, asked me to take deep breaths, count from 10. And then once I calmed down, I apologized to her again. Said, I am so sorry. I don't know where that came from. I don't know what happened. I need to go to a doctor and check it out. And I'm just like, oh, look at you. She's like, Lindsey, why are you apologizing to me for your pain? You were having a panic attack. Like, what do you mean? There couldn't be. She's like, you're so disconnected. Your mind is going a million miles a minute and you didn't even realize you were having a panic attack. Came up with nowhere.
Wow.
There was nothing that could have triggered it. In my mind at the time, there was nothing that could have triggered it. But because I was pushing my body to the limit, my body could not catch up anymore. So after that, it was just like just a downhill from there. My body started manifesting shingles. I started having aches and pains, and that's when I just had to stop and say, what can I do? How am I going to fix this? Because I was eating healthy, working out every day. I mean, I was doing what I needed to do physically, but it was mentally.
The mental and emotional component was over here, the side not being addressed, right?
Yeah. So I went on a whole entire journey trying to figure out what it was that I was missing.
What's really tough is when you're in the habit of being disconnected, you don't even know how to start to connect. Like there's not even an awareness that you're disconnected because that's just how you're functioning for, years. So how did you come back? How did you find a way?
Oh, I started searching some more. So my boss at the time, her daughter is into meditation, and she had a spiritual teacher. And so that's when I started researching different teachers, different gurus, different techniques, different meditations, different prayers, you name it. I did it. And just trying to navigate and find the right one for myself. And I'm still searching.
I love that you're so open. I love that you're always questioning, seeking, and finding answers for yourself instead of just relying on some guru or one, truth. I love that you're constantly, I kind of say like it's kind of like going through a buffet line, and you're kind of constantly always like moving things out and bringing things in that resonate, and releasing things and bringing other things in that resonate, and then eventually you kind of have your entire ideology or your truth. And you, right?
It's all about finding the right one for you, and honestly, you have to just dig deep and feel, because your gut is your second brain there. You have to feel it. If it doesn't feel right, you have to keep moving. Because if you don't feel that gut, other things manifest in your life. And it's going to manifest contrast. It's going to manifest major contrast for you to wake up. And if you don't wake up, you're just going to end up in that turmoil.
It becomes chaotic, chaos, drama, low vibrational, from an energy standpoint. If you're in drama and chaos, then vibrationally, you're not where you need to be.
So
You got to
And then,
extricate yourself from that, or look at why you're creating that in order to figure out how to remove yourself. Oh, some people thrive on it, you know. Some people get sucked into that vortex of lower harmonics and lower vibrational energy and just love the drama and the chaos and
because it's an easy story to tell.
Victim mindset, right?
Yeah, it's an easy story to tell. It's hard to write your own story. It's easy to tell a story that's already happening. It's and when you're the victim, and then you have more self-pity, and you think that people pitying you is love, which is not. And then I finally realized that I don't want to have other people pity me. I don't want to have the self-pity. So I ended up just writing my own story, writing my future.
And you're still like, you're in such a creation mode right now. You have so many great ideas of the directions you want to take your business. And I can see you just looking down this timeline, seeing you just being so wildly successful with it. You're going to be a superstar. You are a superstar, but you're going to be even more successful.
I finally just realized, it's like, we speak everything into existence. We don't realize it. And then so I just learned to just change my vocabulary. I no longer use the negative connotations anymore. I choose not to speak anything negative in my life. No matter what it is, I always try to find the light to it.
Yes, I'm the same. Well, everything holds a vibration, even our thoughts, you know. So why not elevate our thoughts? Why not hold on to something that's higher vibrationally resonant? So that's what we're calling for, instead of that negative story, right? Or that victimhood or that trauma. I guess my perspective is, let's call for things that are for us.
Right.
Whatever that looks like, whether that's people or ideas or activities or joy and love, you know, let's invite those things in, because that multiplies. Where we place what we place our attention on grows. So why not plant a garden instead of, you know, pour Roundup in our lives?
I know. I think what it is, and for myself, in the past, was the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
The fear of the unknown and the fear of failure. And that I was always micromanaging everything in my life. Everything had to be picture perfect because I just did not want to fail. And I was fearful of the unknown. I mean, so I was fearful of, if I didn't have things placed a certain way, I was afraid that it was going to have the outcome that I was imagining.
Huge.
Yeah. So, and then finally, when I learned to let go of everything and just invite what is right for me to come in my life, that's when I realized there's just so much more greatness out there.
Yes.
Yeah. So once you can pass that fear of the unknown, the other side of that is just so exhilarating. And,
oh my gosh.
So now I'm just excited. I'm like, okay, what's next?
Yes, exactly. What was it that flipped the switch for you and got you to kind of, you know, when you're in fear, we go to control. That's just how it works. So what allowed you to actually release the grip that you had on that?
So I honestly already knew I had all these programs, and I was trying to find just different avenues to break the program, just to shatter that program. And I've done so many things. I went from meditation to divine healing and then one day I just kept telling myself, I need something to break the programming. Give me something. And I was actually in the middle of sleep, and then I sat up 2 o'clock in the morning, and I picked up my phone and I stumbled across your video.
Seriously? That's what happened? You were like,
yeah.
Are you serious? That's so crazy.
Universe. I said, look, I know what I need to do. I need to break free from the programs. I need to break free from whatever it is that is holding me back, because I know what I need to do. I just can't do it.
Wow.
The fear and the ego was so strong that I just could not let go. And I needed help. And I said, I don't care what it is. Just I need it. So I remember the first conversation I had with you. You're like, are you sure about this? Because this is what's going to happen. I'm like, oh no, I know.
You're like, I need to come in right away. I was like, are you sure? You're like, yes, I'm sure.
Because I remember I was watching the video. It really explained a lot to me. And then I said, okay, I hope I can get an appointment with you. And it said that I got onto your website that I had to be in person. I said, in person. Okay, where is she? If she's in Houston, perfect. Looked up your address, you're in Houston. And then I was like, okay, now if I can get an appointment with her right away, that means it was meant to be. And sure enough, I got in contact with you and got an appointment with her. I'm like, okay, here we go.
I know, that was so crazy, right? And you know what's so interesting, Lindsey? You're not the only person who told me that's how they found me. It was like, and it's always like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was like, I couldn't sleep. It's a similar story. Like I couldn't sleep. And your video like popped up on my YouTube and I watched it. And I was hoping, I was like, oh gosh, I guess I'm gonna have to fly somewhere. And then I'm in Houston and you are in Houston. And it worked out. Like, I mean, it was just like a common theme. And I was just so shocked at how many people found me that way. And in the middle of the night, you know, like that video was just placed right in front of them at this time. It was so incredible, you know, how life works, how divine timing works, and how our team kind of guides us into place, you know. It's really amazing. But man, you've been on quite a ride. It hasn't been that long, but you have experienced so many changes in your life.
And it's the changes that I was asking for, the changes that I wanted, and I just couldn't break free from because there was just those karmic patterns that just kept pulling me back in, sucking me back in.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing, you know. I mean, we're talking about karmic patterns that go back to the inception of our soul, not even just on the last lifetime. I mean, these programs and patterns are so deeply embedded in us. Humanity was gifted this energy modality to accelerate the releasing of all of that karmic stuff, because to try and do that in one lifetime is virtually impossible. You know, humanity needed a tool to accelerate that process and help with that release, because, you know, just to try to navigate life on a day-to-day basis here is challenging enough.
Yeah.
But to try to excavate and release all that karmic stuff, if you can imagine how old your soul is and how much programming has been ingrained lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, it's very difficult to transcend it.
And I've tried numerous energy healing modalities, meditation, what is that? I've done hypnosis, past life regression. So
you've done all the work.
I did everything, but I just felt like I was sitting on a moped, and I needed more of a sports one.
You needed the sports car. You want the sports car version.
I was like, because I already knew what I wanted. I knew what my heart kept tugging at it, but it was just the programs, the karmic lessons that just kept pulling me back.
Yeah, that's the hard part. You make progress and then you get sucked back into the real world, right? Drama or situations, and it's so hard to break out of that. And the thing about this energy, you know, Marconics energy it's a tool, and up to the individual. It's like, I kind of say, it's kind of like I'm giving you the keys to the Porsche. That individual still has to back it out of the driveway and go somewhere, you know? And so I honor your journey because you have really done the work. And your life is, I feel like, just blooming and blossoming, you know? Your business is thriving, you have new ideas. And it's so interesting. We were just talking like a couple weeks ago, and you were saying how you were looking for a marketing person, and then the perfect marketing person showed up, and then introduced you to somebody else who showed up, and who's not only great at what they do professionally, but also aligned with who you are on a vibrational soul kind of level. And that is the beauty of alignment, right? When you're in alignment, then you're bringing everyone else who's in resonance with that into your life. You're like a magnet, just like attracting it all, right? So that's the coolest thing.
It is so cool, and it's crazy and amazing at the same time. I don't remember if I told you the story about the gypsy that came into the spa.
No, tell me that.
Oh, okay. So I was actually sitting at the front lobby with one of my girls, and I get a phone call. So I'm on the phone, but then a lady walks in. So I step to the back, and my girl is speaking to this lady, and I'm not quite sure what she was asking or whatnot. So I'm in the back, but something kept telling me, Lindsey, you need to go find out what she wants. Something just, I was like, I didn't feel right. It didn't sit right with me. So I'm on the phone with my friend, and I told her, I said, look, I'll call you back. I need to go find out if this is a potential client or not, but something's just not right. And she's like, okay. I walk to the front, and I'm standing behind the receptionist desk, and I'm smiling.
Right.
You know, like normally I'm smiling, and she's talking to one of my girls, and she looks up at me, and I don't know what she saw, but I scared her. I completely scared her, and you can see my girl, she's looking at me like, what's going on? And so to break the ice, my girl goes, Lindsey, I want to tell you, she is into feng shui, and she has said that everything you have here in the spa, the placement, the plants, they're all in the perfect place. Well, the lady goes, oh yeah, I studied feng shui and you did a really good job here, but you can tell she was scared. So she starts inching her way to the pony wall where she had her purse. And she's like, yeah, everything in here, you know, the feng shui is perfect. She grabs a purse and she bolts out the door. She bolts out the door. No, nice to meet you. Have a good day. She just bolts out the door, and I'm looking like, that's interesting. And my girl goes, what did you do to her? I didn't do anything. I just smiled at her.
She probably, you know, saw your aura or read your energy and freaked out. Like, man, this is not in resonance with me.
I already made the intentions. I was like, anyone with bad intentions cannot
remain in your spa environment.
In my spa or in my space. In my space.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. I made the intention, and it's every day. Anyone with bad intentions, anyone without any good auras or whatever is not going to remain in my space at all whatsoever.
You
so
probably
that was
attract.
really
That was so weird. That's such a confirmation that intention setting worked, right? Mm-hmm. Wow. So amazing. Well, I'm just so impressed by you and all the work you've done and where you're going. I can't wait to see where you take this business. How long have you guys been open now?
6 months.
It's only been 6 months? Oh my gosh. That's incredible.
I've been in the industry for about 20 years now, but going on my own here, 6 months.
Wow. I'm so impressed by you. That's so fabulous. I want to ask you, and I ask every guest this, if you could share just a couple nuggets of wisdom that you've picked up along the way that has helped you the most navigate all these challenges in life, what would that be?
Oh my gosh. The only thing that I would advise is learn to love yourself. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate that to everyone. Love yourself. It is not selfishness. It is not, you don't have to feel guilty about it. Once you learn to love yourself unconditionally, you learn to love everyone else.
Yes. Yes.
You do. You learn to emit that love. It is the weirdest thing, but once you learn to love yourself, you truly know how to love everyone else. And it doesn't matter who they are, what they are. You love them for who they are.
Exactly. That's so powerful. So powerful. Thank you for sharing that, because that is the truth. That is where everything stems from. If you can love yourself completely, you become a master.
As I've learned that if I can just love myself completely and just shine brightly, and then just basically go out there and share that same love and share that same light and just brighten up everyone else's day. It does not matter. For me, as long as I can just go out there and be happy, I'm fine.
I love that. Lindsey, that is so awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. You just shared so much great information about your journey. I know so many people are going to benefit from our conversation today. Is there anything else you want to say to be complete with our conversation today? You've been such an awesome guest.
No, I have to say that thank you, because I find myself like, I don't see myself as a healer. I don't see myself as anything. I just see myself as little me, just trying to find my way. And I just want to tell other people that it's okay. Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, it is okay. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yep.
So true. I hope people who hear that will embrace that message. That we're not defined by the opinions of others. We get to define who we are and decide who we're going to live this life, right?
You're okay wherever you're at. You're never too late. You're never too old. And it's just, if you don't like to write, you don't want to write, you can just start telling your story. Whatever it is that you want, bring it to existence. You want like a new self-image, a new car, a new home, whatever it is that you want, you have to speak it into existence. You have to write it into your story. You continue to speak about the drama, the gossip. That's all you're gonna get is more drama and gossip, and that's the what is that, law of attraction?
Yes.
The more you speak of, that's what you get.
Yes, it's all energy, you know.
Yep.
Because you're holding that vibration. So if you don't like where you're at, you have to shift your vibration. You have to raise your vibration. You have to do things to elevate, and then your life will elevate with that, right?
Yeah.
So
no, that's the other thing. It's like I just didn't go into it blindly. I also started doing research. I read books on quantum physics. I read books on the science of the mind, and scientifically, like you said, we are all energy and we vibrate at a certain frequency.
Yes.
And if we want to be up here, then we need to turn our tuner to that frequency, or else we're not going to be able to resonate with that frequency at all, or align with anything to open the doors of opportunities for us to receive.
Absolutely, right, right. Because wherever we are, that's what our reality is. We create our reality from the inside out. Our vibration, that creates our reality. It's not the external reality creating us. We're creating our reality. That was hard, you know, for me to own, because there were days when I was in the dark and I'm like, I'm creating this. What's this about? I had to look at myself, not be looking outside at what was presenting. It's like, okay, I'm creating all this. What is this really about for me? What are the lessons I need to learn? Why am I here in this particular mental space? You know, it always came back to me. It all comes back to you, right? No matter what.
And then there will always be lessons. There will always be lessons and contrast, because without those, we won't know what we want. Without those, we're just going to be content, and we're just going to stay complacent.
Right.
So.
And this is an eternal evolution. It's meant to be anyways. Some people choose not to really evolve. They make different choices, but from a soul standpoint, we're constantly evolving. And like you said, we're all right on time. So I think that's a good place to end it here, is just to let people know you're always where you need to be and you're always right on time. So Be kind to yourselves, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, Lindsey, thank you so much for your precious time today. You're such a beautiful guest. And to my audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe, like, and share. I love you guys. Be kind to yourselves and have an amazing day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye-bye.